Hi, my name is Melanie Sudetic. I'm a registered dietitian with Sodexo at University Hospitals, and today we're going to talk about meal planning. For many of us, it is difficult to find the time and energy to cook meals every single day, and that is where meal planning comes in handy. So planning your meals throughout the week, either for a month, every week for a month, can help us plan more nutritious meals and be prepared. So now we're going to go over some nutrition questions and answers and tips. So our first question is, what are the 5 food groups? And our answer is, they're fruits, grains, vegetables, proteins, and dairy. So it's very important for us when meal planning to choose many foods from the different food groups so that we're consuming the different nutrients that are in each food group. Okay, question number 2, what is fiber? And our answer is, fiber is a type of carbohydrate that the body cannot digest. So fiber is really important for the diet, and fiber is in foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, beans, nuts, and seeds. Some benefits of eating a diet with high fiber include that it helps with digestion and helps us feel full. Also, it helps control our blood sugar levels, and it also helps lower our cholesterol level. Question number 3, which food group contains foods rich in vitamin D and calcium? And the answer is our dairy group. So that includes foods such as milk, cheese, and yogurt. And these foods are going to help our bones and teeth stay strong. Okay, so our last question, what is iron? And the answer is, iron is a mineral that helps maintain healthy blood and to prevent iron deficiency anemia. So iron is in foods such as meats, poultry, seafood, nuts, seeds, and even spinach and broccoli. So one tip for iron foods is to always pair them with high vitamin C foods. So for example, if we're eating spinach in a salad, you can try to pair that with a red bell pepper, which is high in vitamin C. High vitamin C helps the absorption of iron. So now we're going to go over 7 meal prep tips. The first one is to prioritize a set time and day of the week for meal planning and meal prepping. So for example, you could set out each Sunday for meal planning and prepping and cook for the week. Tip number 2 is to start with baby steps. Plan one meal for each day of the week. For example, on Sunday you can plan all of your lunches for Monday through Friday. Okay, tip number 3. Check your pantry to see what foods you already have and plan your meals using these foods. So that way you're not going out and buying more food when you've already had it in your pantry not knowing. Tip number 4. You can use a crock pot or instant pot to cook large batches of foods throughout the week. So these can be things such as soups or stews. Tip number 5, cook large batches of foods that can be kept in the freezer. This will help you save money, and it will also help you not waste as much food. So tip number 6, you can be super proactive and make a monthly calendar and plan out each of your meals for each week. Our last tip is, you should save and store simple, nutritious recipes you enjoy for future meal planning. Now Chef Tony is going to teach us how to cook a shrimp marinade recipe that is packed with nutrients.
Welcome everybody. My name is Anthony Verona. I'm the Culinary Director for University Hospitals Health System with Sodexo, and thanks for joining me today. Well, we're going to make a great dish today. Healthy shrimp and orzo salad. So first of all, I want to talk about the orzo real quick, and just for time, I already did that here. Today we're at Dave's Market, and I want to bring this up because these recipes and ingredients can be all interchanged. So unfortunately today, my recipe stated whole wheat orzo. They didn't have it. Not a huge deal. I mean, whole wheat's definitely going to be better for you, but today, just so for you at home, we're going to go with regular orzo. But whole wheat's a little bit better for you. So what I did with the orzo is I cooked it just like pasta, rolling boiling water. A good trick with pasta is 10 to 1, so 10 times the amount of water to pasta. You rolling boil it, strain it just like you would normal pasta, but in this case we're going to cool it. So what I did is I drained it through a colander in this bowl. So the colander went in the bowl. I drained it. I got rid of all the hot water. I put the colander back in the bowl, and I put cold water, running water on it until it was 100% cool. Then I took the colander out of the bowl. I drained it really well, dumped the water out of the bowl, put the orzo back in the bowl, put a tad bit of olive oil on it, and put it in the refrigerator. That's important. You don't want the pasta to sit in water for too long. It'll absorb water and then become mushy. So this is nice and al dente to the tooth. So just a tiny little crunch in there, which is what we're looking for, at least in my case. So there's the pasta ready to go. By the way, orzo is just pasta. It's just shaped like rice, just in case somebody didn't know that. Okay, so let's talk about the dish real quick. And as we're talking about it, I'm going to heat up my pan so we can get sauteing and cooking here. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to saute a bunch of vegetables. These vegetables can be interchanged for any vegetable you really want. I wrote the recipe with these vegetables because I love these vegetables. We're going to saute the vegetables with the orzo and make like a little pasta dish, and then we're going to saute the shrimp and cook that as well and put that on top. So pretty simple, easy, fresh veggie dish here. So I got a nice big large skillet here. I'm going to put a couple tablespoons or a tablespoon and a half of olive oil in there. Now, the recipe calls for garlic. I hope everybody likes garlic. Now, garlic is like pasta to me, right? It's how you cut it is how it tastes, right? So everybody says, oh, fettuccine, linguine, spaghetti. It all tastes similar, but it tastes a little bit different. Maybe it's the sauce, maybe it's the shape. I think it's how it touches your tongue and how you chew it. It has a little different flavor. Same thing with garlic. You can crush garlic, you can dice garlic, you can shave garlic. Me personally, I love to have garlic like this, and I give it a real thin cut. And I just think it adds a real neat, different flavor than, say, diced garlic or chopped garlic. Kind of has it's kind of strong, right? So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a knife, and I'm just going to give real thin cuts to the garlic. Now, if you ate this straight, it's obviously going to be strong, but we're going to make it mellow it out by throwing it in this pan here. So we want to get it all in that oil. And you got to watch it. You don't want the garlic to burn. So, watch it, move it around. What I like to do is have some vegetables ready to go, just in case we notice it start to burn or get a little hot. We're going to crank it down. You can always move the pan off the heat. So I'm going to dice these up. Now I got peppers in here. I want all my vegetables I want to show you this garlic. This is perfect. If you can see that, it's got a little bit of brownness to it. That's really what I'm looking for. Okay, it's not burnt at all. So I'm going to add a little bit of, now that's going to stop that garlic from cooking. I'm going to add some mushrooms in here. I like to use a little knife with mushrooms. I'm not going to use all these. Again, if you don't like mushrooms, use whatever vegetable you like. The recipe asked for white mushrooms, but I was at Dave's today and these cremini mushrooms look so good. I said, why not? Again, if your recipe calls for mushrooms and you go to the store and the mushrooms look yucky, don't buy them. Use something else. We're not baking a cake here where it makes all the difference in the world, where we have to have the right ingredient or the right measurements. So we're just throwing in some vegetables here. Not rocket science. We got a nice little zucchini here. If you don't like zucchini, yellow squash, eggplant, whatever you like. Again, what I'm trying to do is cut all my vegetables very even so they cook at the same time. And you notice I also put my vegetables in at a certain time. I like my mushrooms cooked a little bit more. I like my peppers cooked a little bit more. Zucchini, not so much. Put my onions in now. Here goes my zucchini. I can hear it. It's a little low, so I want to crank up my heat. Remember, when you cook with sight, sounds, everything. At this point, what we want to do also is season this. A little bit of salt. Salt's going to help draw out some of the moisture, help it saute. A little bit of black pepper. Now we're going to give this a little stir. We want these cooked. Right now, we don't want to add the we're gonna add the pasta, but we want these cooked. We want our vegetables nicely softened, okay? I forgot my red pepper. I see it needs a little color. Add some nice color here with the red pepper. After this, we're going to talk about what we did to our shrimp. Okay. Now, this really isn't an Asian dish, but me personally, I love to use Asian flavors in my cuisine, even though it's not particularly an Asian dish. So I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. We want high heat, but not too high. Okay. Let's talk about the shrimp. What did I do with the shrimp? And crank up the heat on this other pan because we're going to cook this up. Let that heat up. So we took shrimp, peeled, deveined, and the tail off. Important. That way you don't have to mess around with it. I put a little bit of white balsamic vinegar in here. You always need some sort of acid when you're marinating, okay? But in the recipe I state no more than 2 hours in the marinade, okay? A little bit of low sodium soy sauce, huge. I didn't add any salt because we have that. A little bit of honey, as well as a little bit of scallions and some garlic and some fresh chopped parsley. I let that marinate. It's been in there for about an hour and a half. What I want to do now is see all that liquid in there. Now, no one likes to eat raw shrimp, but we're going to cook this in a pan and bring it up to 145 degrees, which for seafood and fish is perfect. Then we're going to use that sauce, that marinade, as a sauce for our orzo. So I got this going. It's looking wonderful. The colors are vibrant. I smell that garlic. So now I'm going to heat up my pan. I'm going to add my shrimp. This is a real simple, quick, easy dish. You can also buy cooked shrimp if you want, even quicker. And marinate them cooked. It's not a big deal. Might not take on as much flavor, but this is a very quick and easy meal. I bought the shrimp today at Dave's. I came in, I ran it under cold water for about literally 6 minutes, and they were thawed. Okay. I hear that little sizzle, which is what I'm looking for. I'm going to cook these up. All right, my vegetables look nice and soft. They don't have to be all brown. Right? We're not looking to caramelize these at all. I'm going to add my cooked orzo. Remember, this is cooked now. We want to heat this through. I call this orzo peel-off, just like a rice peel-off you would, right? Except, like a rice peel-off, you'd saute the vegetables, you add the rice, and you add a bunch of liquid or stock, and then you cook it. Well, pasta's a little different. We're just going to do it in a little different manner, and that's cooking the pasta ahead of time. All right, now, what's the recipe says? After we saute our vegetables, we want to add a little bit of lemon juice. So I got a half a lemon here. Again, a little bit of acid goes a long way. That lemon was kind of weak, so I'm going to add one more. All right. And right at the end, we want to add some green onion, which I washed ahead of time. I like to do with green onion is I cut the ends off. I cut them in half again. I bring them together like this. Just a little slice through here. Sharp knife is important. And this dish is coming together. Green onion, nice and fresh. The other thing I want to add is just a little bit of turmeric. Now in the recipe it talks about adding a little bit of saffron if you have saffron. Saffron actually by weight is one of the most expensive things on the planet food-wise. But turmeric is a great substitute. You're not going to get the flavor, but you're going to get a lot of color. And we want this kind of yellow color to this. I kind of took this recipe. There is an orzo saffron recipe. I don't know if you can see that, but it just turned this beautiful yellow. There is a saffron orzo recipe where you cook the pasta in saffron water, and it just makes this beautiful yellow. But we're doing it kind of on the cheap today. You're not going to get a lot of flavor off of turmeric, but you are going to get a lot of color, which is what we're looking for. My shrimp look amazing. What I want to do is take that liquid, and I really want to reduce that down. Remember, there's a little bit of sugar in there, so as that liquid reduces, that sugar is going to concentrate and make like a little glaze. Okay. This is looking good, nice and hot. I'm going to shut that off. I'm going to add a little bit of parsley. I am going to taste it. The lemon really makes it. A little bit of black pepper, a little bit of salt. Nice and hot. Mix this together. You want to talk about healthy. Hearty too. Remember, I used regular wheat pasta, but whole wheat would even be better. Okay, we're almost got this down to a glaze, which is what we're looking for. I can smell those mixtures. Now, like I said, I used some Asian flavors in there. I used a little bit of soy sauce and a little bit of sesame oil in the recipe. Again, we're not really making an Asian dish, but I like using those flavors. Okay, let's plate this up. I feel like plating it up like a platter today. So we're just going to do a little plate presentation or a platter presentation here. Again, you could do this for a party. You could do this for a birthday party. You could do this for dinner any night. I mean, how long did this take me? I did a little bit of the prep, but not much. You saw me cut pretty much everything. Okay? Now, you could even cool this, and tomorrow, now you got a salad for, I know it's winter, but a picnic or something like that. Like a pasta salad. Like a cold pasta salad. Okay? Let's move that aside. As I'm talking, I want this to reduce just a tad bit more. These shrimp look amazing. Okay, that's perfect. So what I want to do now, shut this off. I don't know if you can see that. I'm sure you can't smell it, but it smells amazing. I'm going to drain the shrimp kind of a little bit because I'm going to use this beautiful sauce. Put these on top. It doesn't matter if it falls around. I'm not trying to get too crazy. That's fine if they fall around there. It gives it some presentation. You can see that slivered garlic in there. That adds an amazing flavor. Now I'm going to take this sauce and just give it a little drizzle around here. Let that pasta just soak up all that sauce. Clean up my edge here. A little bit extra parsley. Maybe a little sprig of parsley right there in the middle. I think we're all going to have some of that here in a minute. So I appreciate you coming along. Let me into your lives a little bit. Let me show you how to make a few recipes. And I hope you try it. And again, all these ingredients are readily available at any grocery store. We're down here at Dave's, Midtown. And went shopping. Took me 20 minutes to shop and 15, 20 minutes to cook. So anybody can do this. Simple, easy. Take care.
In summary, meal planning helps us prioritize cooking nutritious meals for the week. So it's really important to focus on the 5 food groups and try to include as many of those foods as possible in your meal planning. I hope you were able to learn something today, and good luck with your meal planning.